Welcome back to Scratch 3.0. So let's review. We have made ourselves an account. We've gotten in. We've made some sprites run around the screen looking like they're alive. We've changed some costumes and we have made our own costume to make one of the sprites look like it's alive. What I'd like to do now is show you how you can switch backdrops to make it look like it's going from one scene to another. So I'm just going to keep my same two sprites here. And what I'm going to do though is I'm going to find some backdrops for it to change into. So I'm going to go to my choose backdrops here. And I know that I have the pool. I'm going to go to the boardwalk here. Now I will have to change some things so this thing is swimming in the ocean and not on the deck of the pool. That's okay. And let's see, I'm going to click on my backdrops over here and to see what else I have. I'm going to get rid of my white, and I don't think I'm going to have the Rio because that's not going to work so well. So let's see, I have the pool, I have the boardwalk. Let me pick one more. I'm looking through, and that's not going to work. This ocean there. Let's continue. I'm just going to go ahead and use the underwater. And I think the Scratch Cat will just end up walking down here on the water. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start. I'd like to start in the pool. So I'm going to put the cat up here, and we'll put the diver right here. And what I'm going to have them do, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my scripts for each of them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm purposely going to line them up the same just because it's easier this way, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. And I'm going to have them walk across. And when they get to where they are right here, where they're halfway off, I want them to hide. And it's going to make it look like they're actually off the screen. Okay, like they're walking right off the screen. Now, before I do so, I want to make sure that I start with this backdrop, and I want these two sprites to be right where they are. So I'm going to say when I click the flag, first thing I want to do under the motion is say go to X and Y, and wherever my sprite is, that's the X and Y that it's at. So notice this says -81 for Y or for X and 107 for Y, and look, that's right where it is. So I'm going to put that here, and then I'm going to say under the looks, I'm going to say switch backdrop to pool. And I'm also going to say show. And the reason I'm going to say show is because eventually we're going to hide it. And in case I stop my script in the middle, I want to be able to make sure it shows up when it starts. Very good. Okay, now I need to go to my control and I need to repeat. I don't know how many times yet, but I'm going to move it like we did before. I'm going to change my costume, and I'm going to use my weight, and I'm going to put what I had before, which was 0.125. Now, right now it's at 10. I know I'm going to probably need at least 30, so let's see how far he goes. Okay, now he's almost there. I'm going to put 31. Notice when I start this over, he's going to start way back over here where I told him to. And let's see how far he gets. And that's pretty good. I could probably put 32. Actually, I think I might, but that's going to be really, really good. Now, I know I don't have the diver yet. I'll work on the diver in a minute. Now, what I wanted to do is I want it when it gets there. I want it under the looks. I want it to hide. I want it to switch the backdrop to the boardwalk. And I'm actually going to have to click and switch my backdrop to boardwalk just so I can see where I want my sprite. And now, look, he's up in here in the air. What I want him to do is, I want him to be over here. I'm going to grab his cheek and move him over on the side so I only see a little bit of him. And then, so it switches the backdrop. I'm going to go to X and Y again because right now his X and Y is way over here. And I'm going to basically just do this show and repeat this again. Okay, so I'm going to click on the looks, say show, And I'm going to actually duplicate this here. And oops, stop for a minute. And now what I don't want is I don't want this part right here right now. So let's see how it looks. So he walks across and he gets to the edge. It looks like, oh, he disappears. And look, he's walking down the boardwalk. That's exactly what I want. Now, he kind of hides there, but he doesn't, the second repeat, he doesn't go as far as I want. So I'm going to put 50. And this is where sometimes it might be nice to have the turbo mode. So you can see it says turbo mode right here. I'm going to start him, let him run. He hides. He goes. And it doesn't actually look like the turbo mode is actually a lot of extra speed. But notice right there. Oh, I liked how he left there. So I'm going to switch my backdrop to underwater. I need to switch my backdrop again so I can see what it looks like. And now, I'm going to go ahead and let my Scratch Cat just kind of continue down where he was here. Okay, so go back to my code and go back to my cat. And so he's underwater. And I'm basically going to copy this, duplicate. Okay, now what I am going to do is I am going to get rid of these two here because I just want him to kind of walk to about the middle. So I'm going to put a 30 back in there. So let's see what this looks like. He walks across, hides, walks across the boardwalk. That all looks good. And he hides and he walks across the bottom of the ocean. Very good. See how he switches all those scenes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this over to the diver, and the only thing I think I'm going to have to do, let's start this, is the diver needs to start right here. So I'm going to change my Y and X to what it says right here. Okay? Now, if you don't want to do that, you can always pull this down. You can go over here, move him where you want him, go to X and Y, and then put it back. Okay, so I'm going to do this. He's swimming along, he's swimming along, he's swimming along, he's swimming along. And up here, I'm going to make him up top here. Okay? And so I want that X and Y to go in here. And this one, if I do that, you'll see that this actually just goes to the bottom. So I'm going to move it off to the side. And I'm going to do that. So he swims, he swims, he swims. He goes to the ocean. I know that doesn't look realistic. And he's right on top of the cat. So I might, want to do something a little bit different. But right here, I do want to stop him. And I want to put him way up top here. So he's not in the way of the Scratch Cat. I'm going to do that again. And so other than the second backdrop, he looks pretty good. Now you could do a number of things here. You could speed him up. You could, if you sped him up, the only problem would be he would end up showing up again, and you might want to do some broadcast, which I'll show in another video. Or you could use some different backdrops so he's not on the same place. Lots of things you can think of to do. I'm going to go ahead and turn my turbo mode off. And so really, basically, this video is just to show you how you can make the characters look like they're going from one scene to another. This works really great for the holiday scene. So that way, whatever holiday you want to do, anytime during the year, kids can have little animation. Or if they're doing some other type of animation, a lot of times it's nice to make it look like a little kind of movie, and things can go from one scene to another. So I hope you enjoy making your sprites go from one place to another. Keep working, and good luck.